lie, you miss me too. If I roll through, but you.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not Aaliyah got around. So we're going to be talking about her dating history and people who weren't added to this dating list. Because clearly there's many more than we know. Without further more to say, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell post notifications so that you'll be notified every time I drop a video. Let's get into today's video. Starting off, I looked up Aaliyah's dating history, and of course I always go to Who's Dating Who, which is a site you can find all the information you need on it. Yeah, that's basically where I found this information, but I don't need this information because I already know. But basically, Who's Dating Who shared 6 in total relationships that Aaliyah had been in. 6. From the stories and the rumors that we've heard of, I say no. 6 is not the right number, respectfully, from what we've seen. The 6 men that she allegedly dated, or only dated, was Robert, Blake C, aka Trife, Genuine, Static, Jay-Z, and Damon. And still, that's a lot of people to run through the same years and over the years, because some of these people she dated within the same year, respectfully. Let me write down when she dated them. 1 second. So let's run over the years before I get into everything else. So of course she met Robert in 1993, or when she was 12. That would have been 1991 if he met her at the age of 12. She started dating him 1994 to 1995, and with Blake C, 1995 to 1995 is when she started dating him and when she ended things with him. Oh, and I wanted to say, with Robert, of course they got a divorce in 1995. After 1995, her and Blake C, she got into a relationship with Genuine in 1996, and that lasted until 1997. Then in 1997, the same year, she got with Static, and they were together until 1998. In 2000, she got with Jay, and in 2000, they split. And then in 2000, the same year, she got with Damon. In 2001, she was still with Damon, basically. Damon was her last relationship. But if we've been honest to ourselves, we know that these 6 people aren't the only ones she allegedly, we're gonna say allegedly, dated. We're also gonna be getting into that, but Aaliyah was the Ariana Grande of her time, respectfully. The things that Ariana Grande is doing today reminds me a lot of what Aaliyah was doing. The only difference between Aaliyah and Ariana Grande is Aaliyah was very private, so you don't know, and she never considered them boyfriends and came out with all of them, right? With Ariana Grande, she comes out with all of them, and then she ends up making a whole album about them. That's the only difference. Well, the album part not, but just her coming out and being very open with being seen out with different men. And Aaliyah was definitely the Ariana Grande of her time, or how most would say it, Ariana Grande is the Aaliyah of this time. We know in her song Erica Kane, I always talk about this line, she ain't hard to get, the girl gets around. Like, I'm just gonna keep repeating myself until people wake up and understand, but she was a promiscuous woman. We went over it multiple times. Erica Kane is the most telling song of them all. I mean, her last album is the most telling, but Erica Kane, that's a whole different story. Let's get into the ages she was when she dated these people. Now, starting off with Robert, Aaliyah was 13 and Robert was 25 when they started dating. And with Aaliyah and Blake C, and I want to say, every person just about that Aaliyah was dating, she had a music video with. She definitely had a music video with Blake C. I mean, it wasn't her video shoot, but she was in it. And strangely enough, he played the love interest in that song featuring her. What are the odds? And she has multiple pictures with this guy too. And then getting into Blake C, I tried to look up how old he was for 1995 because that's allegedly when she started dating him. But I could not find his age online. There's really no information on this dude other than the songs he was featured in and the group Junior Mafia. There's no information on him. I wish it was, but if y'all know how old he was in 1995, definitely let me know. In 1995, Aaliyah was 16, and Blake C, I'm just gonna say, would have been in his 20s, because Aaliyah seemed to date people who were very older than her, so we're just gonna assume he was in his 20s. He looked like an older guy, so yeah, and he was hanging around people who looked to be around his age range. Moving on to Genuine, Aaliyah was 17, Genuine was 26. Aaliyah was 17 and Static was 22. Not that bad. It's better than the others, but still a little questionable. Aaliyah was 20, Jay-Z was 30. Aaliyah was 20 and Damon was 28. So those were the ages she was when she was dating these people, and that's how old they were. Now, first and foremost, I want to get into her jumping from men to men, especially at a young age. 1994 to 1995, she was with R. In the same year of 1995, after divorcing, it was alleged she got into a relationship with Blake C in 1995. Aaliyah and Robert were married for 5 months. They dated for 6 months after getting together in 1993. After a 7-month engagement, they married on 31st of August, 1994. 5 months later, they separated in February 1995 and divorced on the 7th of February. So 2 months later, allegedly, after divorcing Robert, her and Blake C started dating. 2 months after being married, being with this man, basically having a whole life with this dude, being pregnant. She moved on 2 months later, allegedly, with Blake C in April of 1995. Blake C, aka Trife, is rumored to have hooked up with Aaliyah in 1995. They separated October of 1995. And like I said, Aaliyah was this word right here, which means that she doesn't stay in very long relationships. And it really defines her character and who she was. Moving on, I don't know why I'm getting this feeling, but I'm feeling like her and Ghostface was dating when she was 16, 17, like around 1996, in between there. That's just what I'm getting from it. So maybe that's where Ghostface comes in at. If you know particular dates, let me know. But November of 1996, so a whole year basically, she moved on from Blake C in 1995, and in 1996 of November, she started allegedly dating Genuine, and it says Aaliyah is rumored to have hooked up with Genuine in 1997. The story behind it on this app, it just says Genuine and Aaliyah were just friends, they did not date, which is true, and I feel like in their definition they mean boyfriend and girlfriend type date, but they were doing some things, I'm sure. She got with him in November of 1996. They split in August of 1997. So she was with him for a decent amount of time, 8 months. That's pretty good. So after 1997, after they separated, she got with Static Major. And it says Static Major and Aaliyah had a relationship from 1997 to 1998. That just verifies that there's no exact months of when they got together and when they split. Her and Static went their separate ways in 1998. I heard in 1999, I believe, she met Jay-Z. And then in 2000, it says Aaliyah rumored to have hooked up with Jay-Z in 2000. Jay-Z once dated Aaliyah back in 2000. The relationship didn't last. They started dating January of 2000. And then they separated July of 2000. So 7 months, not bad. And also, What I noticed about this one is in July of 2000, that's allegedly when her and Damon hooked up. Like hooked up. It would make sense. Makes a lot of sense. So after her and Jay-Z separated July of 2000, in 2000 she ended up meeting Damon Dash, I believe at a basketball game, he said. And it says, Damon Dash and Aaliyah were in a relationship for 1 year before Aaliyah at the age of 22. Damon and Aaliyah met in the summer of 2000. They started off as friends and dated until her. Although they were not engaged, Damon later stated that they had planned on eventually getting married. And so they dated from July 2000, which makes sense, to, of course, her untimely demise, which was in August of 2001. She was with these people for a decent amount of months. I mean, when you really look at it, it's not a very long time. And she was getting with people quick, respectfully. Like, right after her divorce, she got with Blake C. Genuine in the same year, she got with Static. Moving on to Jay-Z, she ended up getting with his friend in the same year. But she wasn't passed around. There's a difference between passed around and getting around. Getting around, I feel like you do it yourself. Passed around is when, you know what I'm saying, the man, they just pass you around. Aaliyah was in control of her sexual life. Getting into more people she could have dated, of course, on this list is Ghostface. And even Ghostface's friend mentioned that he's seen Ghostface and Aaliyah linked up, so there's no way around that one. It is what it is. Stories are coming out. They're gonna come out, clearly. But he's on this list, which makes 7. DMX, which makes 8. I feel like she had a fling with him. It wasn't necessarily a relationship, but you know what? Having relations with somebody is a relationship to me. It's some type of relationship. It's a situationship, okay? So DMX makes 8. I swear I heard a story on her talking to or dating Little C's. And they also have a picture hugged up together. But I'm not sure if it's true. I don't know if I actually heard this. I swear I did, but I wouldn't be shocked if I did hear it, because she was very close to those people, and like Damon said, she would give anybody a chance. So anything's possible at this point with her and men. So Little C's possibly makes number 9. Another person, Mace. They said that they were spotted out on a date and they went to a club together. Everybody was shocked, and I don't know if anything ever came about. We would never know, because that was more of the private ones, like no pictures. We're just gonna say allegedly with this. All of this is alleged, you know, but this is just something I strongly believe. But for the sake of other people and their opinions, I'm gonna say allegedly, because I know a lot of people can get defensive and offended and start a whole argument over what someone else believes, which is really crazy. But does Mace make number 10? Possibly. Anything is possible at this point with her and men. Nas, I heard she was talking to him. She has pictures booed up with him. And I think she was actually at his listening party or something like that. It was said that they were talking, but it didn't ever go as far as to, you know, become something, because she was busy and he was allegedly looking for a girl to settle down with or something like that, and Aaliyah just did not want that. Something like that. I heard something like that. We're just gonna say that is the alleged story. But they just ended up going their separate ways, and nothing ever came about with the two. So Nas is what, number 11? Last but not least, I don't believe she dated this guy or even has relations with this guy or this artist, but she was scouting none other than D'Angelo. She loved her some D'Angelo. She spoke on him several occasions, and she would always let people know that he was fine, he was hot. And so I think she was scouting him. He was one on her hit list, her smash list. But what makes me think that she did not have any relations with him, nor did she even get close to dating him, is because Aaliyah kept things very private. So if she was messing around with him or they were talking, Ain't no way she's gonna get on the radio station and say D'Angelo's hot. She was very private. She was not gonna say that. So clearly, you know, she wanted him to see that, like she did with DMX. That was her shooting her shot over TV. Then when she got interviewed by Beyonce was like, who do you want to see? Who do you look forward to seeing tonight? And Aaliyah said, D'Angelo, because you know he fine, or something like that. So I think she was scouting him. And is it possible they could have had a fling in the near future? It's possible. It's possible. And Aaliyah went after who she wanted. And she hit everybody she wanted to hit. She had that hit list. I wouldn't be surprised if Damon was actually on that hit list. And she just used a few people to get to Damon. Who knows? She became friends with Natine. Natine dated him. She became friends with Ananda Lewis. She dated him. She was friends with Stacey Dash, who was allegedly cousins with him. Then she was messing around with Jay-Z, who was best friends with him. She was just hanging around people who knew Damon. And it's like she was using those people to get close to Damon. And she succeeded, and that's why she was in love with him. Probably more than any dude she's been in love with other than DMX. She knew who she was going after. And she would have eventually went after D'Angelo, I'm sure. She was always mentioning him from 1999 or 1998 to 2001. She always had D'Angelo. She also fantasized about... He's from this group. I'll put it right here. But she was fantasizing about him too. Which eventually, you know, Aaliyah just had a hit list, girl. She was living life. She was blowing through men like a dangerous woman. I think there's more to add to this list. 6 is definitely not all, respectfully, but Aaliyah had multiple relationships. Situationships. We're going to call them situationships because they weren't necessarily relationships. She had a lot of situationships, and she was a promiscuous woman, all of the above. Was Aaliyah getting around? And who's to say she was sleeping with all these guys? Personally, I feel like, you know, if you're messing around with somebody, eventually you're going to give it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if she did give it up to all these people willingly. I just got a comment, and basically they were like, they felt like Aaliyah's drive came from her first relationship with R. Kelly. And I wanted to talk about this in this video. I was going to mention something about it, and then I seen this comment, and I'm just like, perfect. I feel the same way. I feel like the situation with her is the reason for her crazy life and her blowing through men, right? And when a lot of people have said that it makes them crazy about sex, and you know, they just start getting crazy about it. And I feel like that's how Aaliyah was, you know, and she was taught that by her mom, so she felt it was okay learning that from a parent. Definitely wasn't a problem for her. Anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. You guys let me know what you think. Did Aaliyah get around? I feel like she did. I feel like she was a homewrecker as well. She was ruining relationships, or trying to. She was in multiple situationships, whether people want to believe it or not. She was blowing through him like it was nothing. Months with him. After those months, new man. Thank you. Next. Ariana Grande type shit. But anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you guys know any other person she allegedly dated, leave them down below. And we'll just keep adding to this list as the stories come out. So like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Stay crazy.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had trust. Now it's drowning in our lives. I know we're broken up. You know the feelings deep inside. So what's you, what we've been through?